I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, the head coach for NoBSCoachingAdvice.com and JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. And I did an article a week ago for LinkedIn that it was a good article, and it talked about self-sabotage being misunderstood for job hunters. And I realized it's bigger than just the job search scenario. It's obviously people think of self-sabotage in many other ways as well. And for those of you who are self-employed, you beat yourself up relentlessly. And as I've said, from time to time, I coach self-employed people who have a lunatic for a boss. And I'll just say that many of you in the lunacy phase of your behavior punish yourself and view it as self-sabotage when you don't get the result that you want. And in point of fact, as I said to the job hunters, often the issue is lack of preparation and preparedness. And often it's because you've shown the courage to step out into territory that you've never engaged in before. And it hasn't resulted in the way that you wanted. Now, that goes hand in hand with lack of preparedness. Now, it takes courage to step out. It takes courage to extend yourself past the comfort zone. And if you didn't deliver the goods the first time, or the second time, or the fifth time, it doesn't really matter as long as you're learning something from the experience. Now, I'll give you an example. I was watching a sports show on ESPN about the Detroit Pistons, and they were a tough basketball team at one point. And these are the championship Pistons, by the way, with Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer and the whole host of characters that existed in that basketball team. And they tried multiple occasions to beat the Boston Celtics, and they came up short. But they kept persevering because they kept learning from the experience and trying again and again and again until they finally got over the hurdle. Their will and what they had learned from the previous experiences got them to success. Now, for you, you're not going for the championship. You're trying to sell more business. You're trying to be more effective. And you know what? Like them, you're going to make mistakes. And the idea isn't to suddenly go back and go, oh, I can never do this. Oh, no, I can never do this. It's the idea to step out from your mistakes and do something different that becomes so important. Self-sabotage is completely misunderstood because we think of it as our own internal failure, as though it's this deep psychological thing. When in point of fact, we've started off with the courage of stepping out and doing something that goes beyond our comfort zone. And then from there, although we didn't get the result that we wanted, the idea is to learn from it and take corrective action so that this way the next time or the time after that or the time after that we're more successful. If you think of when you were little, and I always love to use this example, and the classic example of toilet training. When you were little, I'm sure you were not good at it the first time, but somewhere along the line you got masterful at it, right? This is no different. When you were little, there were a lot of things that you couldn't do well, like writing. And maybe now you have handwriting like mine, but it's a lot better than what it was when I was 2, right? So, although my wife might disagree with that. But the idea is very simple. What you always want to be doing is trying. Trying is the first step. Learning from it. Having the courage to step out and do something a little bit different. While at the same time, being prepared to try. Because, like for example, in sports, teams practice plays, right? They don't just simply go out there with a bunch of talent and run around like, without a plan in place, right? They plan to be successful. They practice the plays in order to be successful and thus learn how to be effective. And sometimes they lose, and the good ones more often than not win. They don't just, after they lose their first game of the season, go, oh, that's it, let's go home, right? So I want to encourage you, keep trying. Practice. That's the real key to all of this.
take corrective action, which is key number 2, and then from there, go out courageously and try again. Hope you found this helpful and hope you have a great day. Take care.